It's your girl Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and we are back with another 2-week forecast of galactic gossip. So, welcome in, welcome back, and all those good things. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you will not miss a beat on anything that I happen to upload or express or share with you all, because I'm always updating and bringing in new things every now and then. All right. So if you are returning, I hope everything went well with all the energy from the last 2 weeks that we discussed. And I hope that the rest of this month is going to treat us all well. So with that being said, just a quick few little announcements to make. We still have the Celestial City that's still open, so you can go ahead and join that membership for $33 per month. That is where you get your readings. That is where you get your new moon ceremony and your Reiki session. Also, I have the January $10 readings. They are found on my website, so you can get a reading for sun, moon, rising, all your signs, whatever. Those are all on my website for $10. And also, last but not least, we have 10% off on all Reiki services for the month of January. All right. So if you need some chakra alignment, then go ahead and find your way over to my website. All that information will be in the description box below. And yeah, so I'm going to dive right on in because we have a lot to cover for the last 2 weeks of January. It's like the new year just started and we're already almost into the second month of this new calendar year. It's wild. It just speeds up. But anyway, so we're going to be covering the energy for January 16th all the way to the end of the month, January 31st, just to wrap it all up, okay? So the last 2 weeks, we have Mercury stationing direct. We have the sun entering into Aquarius. So it's the start of Aquarius season. So happy solar return, Aquarius. And then we have the new moon that happens at 1 degree Aquarius. And then I think like the next day, Uranus is stationing to move direct. And then we have Venus moving into Pisces. So lots of stuff to discuss. And then I'm going to give you all the readings for all 12 signs at the end of the overview. So you don't want to miss this first part. I'm going to talk about each energy and kind of what it means and what we can expect as a collective. And then I'm going to get into all the signs to talk about what the energy means individually for your sun, moon, and rising. And so once we get to that part of the reading, make sure that you are listening for your sun, moon, and your rising sign. Your rising is going to be first and primary, as that is a direct reflection of everything that's going on in your life. It is the most accurate reading for your sign. And then your sun is going to be secondary because that is your focus, that's your goals. That has a lot to do with your ambitions and your wishes and things of that nature. And then last but not least will be your moon sign. It's more subjective. It's about your internal world and can reflect your home and family life and your current living situations as well. So just a little insight when you do get to that part of listening to your sun, moon, and rising readings for the rest of this month. All right. So what else is there? I think that's it. So I'm just going to dive right on in. So we're going to discuss the energy for January 16th all the way through to January 31st. And we're going to start off with Mercury stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn. This happens on January 18th, and Mercury will be moving through the sign of Capricorn until February 11th, and then it will enter into Aquarius. Okay, so it stations direct at 7:12 a.m. Central Standard Time. And so this is another planet that is moving forward. So we're having more progression. And by the end of the month, all planets will be direct. All right. So Mercury has been retrograde for the last 3 weeks in the sign of Capricorn. So it's been helping us to reestablish boundaries, where we have kind of let some things go in essence, right? Reestablish those boundaries. It's that very much so Capricorn energy about boundaries and structure and being disciplined in certain areas. So wherever Capricorn occupies in your chart, that's where you have been going on reestablishing boundaries, getting solid on your long-term goals, your aspirations, all of those things. So during the retrograde phase, we brought back some old projects. We've been reviewing some ideas. And hopefully we all took a much needed break from some things. So if you have not, do so until the 18th at least. Mercury also is the ruler of our intellect. It's our mental faculty. So it's important that during the retrograde period that we embrace the need to rest and recharge. Okay, so make sure that you have done that. If not, take the last couple of days to do so. Now, also, it's important that we recognize that by the end of this retrograde, we should have a solid understanding of what we are working towards and what we are working for. That's going to be more long term. Because once, Mercury going through the sign of Capricorn, it's like bringing forth those ideas and having communication that's much more solid, more grounded, practical, also things that's going to be able to be tangible that we can manifest, in a tangible sense. So taking the time during this retrograde period to kind of gain an understanding of what those things are that could bring us long-term results, and a positive yield, right? A positive return on our investment, and then moving forward during the direct season to actually make these things come into fruition. That's the best way. That's kind of like what we are expecting to happen, or what we should expect to kind of occur during this time. Because then, Mercury is going to move into Aquarius. And so it's all about innovation. It's that genius energy that we're tapping into and being more innovative, excuse me, during that time. But I'll talk about that next month. So, anywho, now we have the sun moving into Aquarius. So this is the start of Aquarius season. So happy solar return to all of your Aquarius out there if you're watching with an Aquarius sun. So from January 20th until February 18th, we will be under the sun's influence while it navigates the sign of Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is all about autonomy, our individuality. And so the sun is about our focus, it's our vitality, our personality, it's creative self-expression. So it's asking us to tap into that quirky and eccentric side of ourselves this season, and also doing so to fully experience who it is that we are, because that sun is our personality. It's, who we are. So almost immediately after we start Aquarius season, we have a new moon, right? That happens in the sign of Aquarius. So the sun and moon come into a connection the very next day. And, it's going to be a time to set new intentions towards achieving our goals, because Aquarius is about goals and hopes and wishes and things of that nature. So, that's coming into focus at this time. And so the sun is also the ruler of Leo, and that's the polarity of Aquarius, right? So it's in this opposite sign. And so the sun is in detriment right now when it enters into Aquarius. So it's at home, when it's in Leo, and it's in fall when it's in Aquarius. So, this transit is going to highlight who it is that we are within our communities, who we associate with, what are our goals, what are our ambitions, things of that nature. Aquarius rules that energy, right? It rules our goals, communities, friendships. So we may find that we are connecting more with others during the season, or we're really focusing on our personalities and who it is that we are outside of these ambitions and these goals, and the people that we are connected to. Our own sense of autonomy might actually come into focus. Now, also Aquarius season is going to bring a couple of things. Like the sun is going to make a square to Uranus, that's in Taurus, and it's also going to make a trine to Mars. It's still in Gemini, although it's freshly moving. It has moved direct, and so it's going to make those aspects, and these are creating like completely opposite energies, right? So the sun Uranus square energy, that's going to bring us some possible blocks, right, in how we express ourselves and how we are going about achieving our goals. Whereas that trine to Mars energy is going to highlight the action that's needed to achieve those goals and to fully express ourselves in the quirky, unique way that we are. And so the lunar nodes, also the north and south node, they are going to be playing a role alongside of Saturn this season as well. So that might bring a little bit more attention, because it's that that the lunar nodes, it's that ambitious nature, it's that hunger that we have to achieve something. It's like, what are we seeking to devour during this time with the north node, and what are we seeking to let go of and move away from with the south node? And then Saturn is very ambitious, it's very headstrong also. It's about, where does our discipline lie and our focus and things of that nature. So, you know, I hope everyone took a break during the Mars and Mercury retrograde, because Aquarius season is shining light on the benefits of finding balanced work and achieving all of our hopes and wishes. So, especially with Mars moving direct recently, and it's going to be picking up speed gradually, but towards the end of the month, we're going to have all planets moving direct. They're all going to be moving in forward motion, and Mars is going to be like full speed ahead. So things are going to be picking up the pace. Things are going to start moving. So I hope everyone took a break while you could. All right. Then we have like that new moon at 1 degrees, like I was talking about, in the sign of Aquarius on the very next day, January 21st. And the new moon is peaking at 2:53 Central Time, PM. So new moons are always a time for setting new beginnings, creating new intentions, embarking on a fresh new cycle, especially with this 1 degree energy, right? So from November of 2022 until March of 2023, all of our new moons are going to be at 1 degrees. And so this is amplifying that energy of newness. The first new moon of 2023, that's what we're under, right? And this happens to be in the sign of Aquarius, and it's going to be sextiling Jupiter that's in Aries. So this is great energy. It's a really great new moon to set intentions under, because that sextile to Jupiter is assisting us in seizing the opportunities that are being presented at this time. And Jupiter's transit through fiery Aries is helping us with inspiration and enthusiasm and all those things that we need to take risks to pursue those passions, right? So we can like really harness and tap into this new moon energy, setting new intentions towards the journey ahead. And around Leo season, when we have our Aquarius full moon, we can recognize what has come to fruition over this time. Now, as this moon is co-ruled by both Saturn and Uranus, right? So Saturn in traditional astrology and Uranus in modern astrology. There's also a bit of that contradicting energy going on here as well. So Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. It stations direct also the very next day after this new moon. So it's adding a bit of that electricity in the air. It's like a little zap, a little zing, because it's what Uranus does. So we might feel stimulated, maybe even overstimulated. We might feel excited. We might feel anxious, because it kind of stems from the same space. And also there might be a bit of unpredictable energy floating around also. The modern ruler, Saturn, is going to be in a conjunction with Venus at this time. So this is helping us to remain loyal to the goals that we are setting intentions towards achieving. And we might also feel a little conflicted between being unpredictable and then focusing on our responsibilities, wanting to have a sense of adventure, wanting to be social, wanting to kind of, embrace the chaos that's going around, but then also wanting to kind of wheel it in, hone it back a little bit. So also that Venus conjunct Saturn energy, it might bring a little bit of like, down vibes, or you might not be feeling as enthusiastic, or you might not be feeling like, it might kind of put a damper on your mood a little bit and how you see yourself, or the beauty aspect of things and your values and whatnot. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's a quick transit, it'll pass soon. So yeah, so like I was talking about, Uranus is stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus the very next day, so January 22nd, and it will continue its forward movement until August 28th of 2023. And so it stations direct at 4:58 Central Time. And it's in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus thrives off of stability, especially regarding the things that make life sustainable and pleasurable, right? So food and money and relationships, right? So Uranus has been and will continue to bring the shakeups and shakedowns to that Taurus ruled area of our lives. Uranus's chaos and unpredictable behavior, it's like, it's coming here to show us that we can still have pleasure. We can still have the things that are sustainable and stable in our lives, but we need to find a new innovative way to do so, right? So change and positive change and transformation, I guess you can say, is here to liberate us from the outdated ways of existing and being and enjoying the things that bring us pleasure and also stability. So as Uranus, as Taurus is the ruler, or it governs our like resources, we are switching up how we provide stability and sustainability. Uranus rules Aquarius, and so it's also about doing things on your own. What is, tapping into your own sense of autonomy, not relying on others, so to speak, but finding the way to do so by yourself, but also for the community, for the greater good of all. And so we are learning during this transit, that Uranus is going through the sign of Taurus, I think until like 2025 or 2026. We're learning that during this transit, we are to rely on our ability to provide what we need, right? So Uranus is known as the Great Awakener, and we are being awakened to the new possibilities of receiving our desires through innovation. And so as Uranus stations to go direct, we were kind of like in this internal review. It's more so about internal liberation, internal freedom, awakening. So we could have been going through like a deep spiritual awakening during the retrograde phase. And now like there's going to be an external expression of these things. And so with this stationing, the energy is very thick and it's very potent. It's similar to like the air pressure that we feel during like a lingering thunderstorm right before the lightning strikes, right before that first lightning strike comes down. It kind of gets thick, and so we could be feeling that. It might feel like there's something coming on the horizon. You don't know what it is, but it's there, right? You might feel a little eager, agitated, maybe even anxious, maybe even excited, not quite sure. So especially with this energy, it's very unexpected, and there might be some unexpected surprises that are occurring at this time as well. Okay. So then we have Venus moving into Pisces, and this happens on the 26th of January, and Venus will continue its transit through Pisces until February 20th. And this is going to happen at 10:33 p.m. Central Time. And so the evening of January 26th, Venus is leaving Aquarius, where we have felt a little bit detached in our relationships and just trying to find our own sense of individuality and whatnot, even in relationships or within our money, how we find out, how do we find ways to create income, or, our possessions and the things that we find pleasure and whatnot. So with Venus moving into the sign of its exaltation, this is where its natural characteristics are expressed more easily, I guess you can say. I like to think of a planet being exalted. It's like being on vacation. It's not at home, so it's not exactly comfortable, but it's like, with it being Venus is not at home like how it would feel when it's in the sign of Taurus or Libra, but it's not entirely comfortable, but it's more in a space of bliss and enjoyment, right? So it's like being on vacation. You aren't at home, and eventually you're going to get tired of being on a vacation. You want to go home. Most people do. They want to go home. They want to kind of like chill and be comfortable. So, there's kind of the same energy when it comes to like any planet being in exaltation. It's great. It expresses itself, it's having fun, it's doing the things and whatnot. But, it might get a little tired being here. So either way, Venus is more in that space of being in a blissful, enjoying kind of energy. And possibly with Venus being in Pisces, it's seeking to explore the depths of itself, that it has not had the opportunity to do so through the other 11 signs, right? So during Venus's transit through Pisces, it's going to make a couple of aspects. So it's going to make a square to Mars, and that is bringing passion and possible tension, in love and money. And so, the communication may not be as transparent also with our loved ones, or how we express our love. Our love languages might not be, whatever it needs to be, because, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and Pisces has that ability to kind of like play on the illusions and not necessarily be clear on certain things. And so keeping that in mind. All right. So it's also best practices to focus on mindfulness and engage with one another with compassion, right? Tapping into that Piscean energy. Venus and Pisces is really beautiful energy, but sometimes it makes certain aspects to other things that might bring in the lower vibrational energy of that Piscean nature. And so also there's going to be a sextile to Pluto that's still in Capricorn, and it's also going to be making an aspect to Uranus, and that might bring a deep levels of like soul healing, and maybe even some unexpected surprises with our love and money, and connection with other people. So keep that in mind also, that later on also in this transit is going to make a conjunction to Neptune, right? So it's in Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So with Venus being there in its exaltation, it might really help us to refine our artistic talents, embrace love unconditionally and express love unconditionally, and see things through a lens of compassion. And it's a really beautiful energy. We might feel really connected to our loved ones, and really diving into our art and our expression and beauty and dance and all those things. And then this is also a new cycle. It's bringing in a new cycle in a holistic and soulful way. Anytime we have a conjunction, that's exactly what's happening. It's a new cycle. All right, so that is all that I have for the rest of the month. And now we are going to dive into these readings for all 12 signs. And we're first going to start, of course, with Aries. So before we dive into that, make sure, like I mentioned before, you are listening for your sun, moon, and rising signs. Your rising is going to be first and primary. Your sun is going to be secondary. And last but not least will be your moon sign. Okay. So now, starting off with Aries, sun, moon, and rising, we have Mercury stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn, and this is in your 10th house. So you could have been reviewing and revising and just kind of revamping some things when it comes to your career, your public image, your social status, reestablishing boundaries, getting refocused on your career path. Mercury is the ruler of your 3rd and your 6th house, so it has a lot to do with maybe your small business, or maybe even the work or the employees that you work with. Just kind of reviewing, all of those things. And now that it's stationing direct, you can take those ideas and things that you were kind of working on during the retrograde period and set them into action. You can start moving forward on them, allowing those ideas to kind of become tangible, to manifest, right? And then we have a new moon at 1 degree Aquarius, and this is on January 21st in your 11th house. So setting new intentions surrounding your hopes and wishes, your material gains, your long-term goals, even your networking circles and your friendships, and it has a lot to do with you setting goals towards, that 4th and 5th house energy, right? Because the moon rules your 4th house, the sun rules your 5th house. So it could be about your home and family, your children. This is definitely you embarking on a new journey towards, connecting with, feminine energies, maybe like influential women in your life. This also could indicate that you are, needing to set intentions about a creative project and achieving a certain goal, or, finding more stability within the home as well, being innovative and changing things up a little bit when it comes to that new moon energy as well, setting that intentions in your home and family. But it's about achieving a goal, maybe connecting with a friend, or relying on feminine energies to help you achieve a certain goal or a creative project. Okay. So then we have Uranus stationing direct, and this is all happening right after the sun shifts into Aquarius. So, our focus is in that Aquarian kind of energy, and then Uranus moving direct at 14 degrees Taurus in your 2nd house. So there's going to be some surprises and some changes that are happening that you have kind of become awakened to, and how you make money for yourself, also your relationships and the things that you value and all of your possessions. So you're going to be implementing new innovative ways in how you can create income, also within your partnerships. And, you've become kind of aware of these things. You have a new innovative insight, and then also allowing that autonomy to happen, right? So doing so for yourself, relying on yourself. And this also could be a financial goal that is kind of surprising you. And so it might be like a networking thing, or maybe you're connecting with a large group, or there might be some changes in connection with other people or an organization that you are affiliated with. And so now you are setting these things into action, into play, and you're making the changes from the awakening that you had during the retrograde period. All right. And then last but not least, we have that Venus moving into Pisces energy that happens on January 26th in your 12th house. So Venus in your 12th house, is the house of like bed pleasures, and that's Pisces energy, and Venus is love and, relationships. So you might be really embarking on, some sexual healing or connecting with your loved one, or, kind of really focusing or honing in on your craft, right? Could be art, music, beauty, dance, any of those things, right? Venus is all about, that artistic expression as well. And that 12th house is about creativity also. So this also could be that you are going to be working on some things behind the scenes, because that 12th house is the unseen, but also there might be some things that you're undoing when it in regards to like relationships or commitments that you've made, or you're going to be embarking on new ways that you make income for yourself, because Venus rules your second and seventh house. So that's Taurus and Libra. So, finding new ways, or really diving into becoming more passionate towards ways that you can commit, right? So this might be a dissolving of an old commitment in order to embark on a new commitment, or you're finding new ways to, be committed to your craft, right? To your artistry, or finding new ways of, making income and money for yourself through spirituality. Also, this could be a very spiritual time for you as well, with Venus being in Pisces in the 12th house. It could be a very spiritual time for you also, or the ending of like a commitment. It could be work, could be an actual like relationship or something along those lines as well. Okay, so for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, starting off with Mercury stationing direct to 8 degrees Capricorn, this will be in your ninth house. So you might be reviewing, getting new information or things like that regarding travel or higher education. So during the retrograde period, there could have been some information or some news that you were waiting on that came in during that time, or it might come in during the time that Mercury is stationing direct. All right, so maybe reviewing, revamping, and rethinking a lot about your boundaries. And it could be spiritual boundaries as well, because this is a very spiritual house. And also with it being the ninth house, it could be you kind of trying to set things in place regarding like travel plans, or just your overall vision and your goals for your future, like your life path, the things that you desire to do. Mercury is the ruler of your second and your fifth house. So it has a lot to do with finances, as well as your creative self-expression and creative projects, maybe even your children in school, just kind of getting some information that comes in about maybe children in education, or you, so to speak, in like your path that you're taking, or the beliefs that you have regarding how you make money for yourself, or and having it to be in alignment with more so of who it is that you are, right? That fifth house is your soul expression also. So and then we have that new moon at 1 degrees Aquarius on January 21st in your 10th house. So setting new intentions about your career, your public image, your social status, shifting and changing your goals that you are seeking to obtain regarding your career. So this might be a time where you are starting a new cycle when it comes to like a new career, a new journey in regards to that. So you might be getting notification of a new job, or a job that you should be applying for. The moon is the ruler of your third house. So that could be communication, but a new way or a new career path that you're taking regarding like a small business, something that's more stable, more grounded, with the sun ruling your fourth house, something that's more in alignment to who it is that you are, that's going to help you express who it is that you are at a level of confidence and security as well. All right, so then we have Uranus stationing direct at 14 degrees in your first house. So Uranus has been doing the absolute most in your first house, Taurus, for a while. And with it being in your first house, has been squaring Saturn that has been in your 10th house. So you have felt restricted and oppressed regarding like your career and being seen and being recognized, and wanting to do the things that you want to do the way that you want to do them, but having so much work that needs to be done first before you can do that. Now that Saturn is moving into Pisces in a couple of months, and Uranus is moving forward, that square energy between Uranus and Saturn is not going to be there anymore in your first house, affecting you in that way. All right, so Uranus is going to be moving forward. So you have some liberating insights that happen during the retrograde of Uranus about yourself, how you show up, your sense of confidence and things that you have been doing, and um towards achieving your goals, maybe even about like, networking circles and friends and things that you connect with. Uranus is the ruler of your 10th house. So it rules that energy where that new moon is happening. So there could have been a lot of revelations and insights and awakening that happened regarding your career path and what you actually want to do moving forward. All right. And then last, we have Venus moving into Pisces on January 26th in your 11th house. So this is going to be great energy for you also, with it being your 11th house. So connecting with your friends, and Venus is the ruler, it's your chart ruler. So anything that happens to Venus happens to you. And so with it being in your 11th house, it's exalted, number one, because it's in Pisces, and, it's going to feel really great to connect with people, connect with large organizations. You might have a focus on giving back to the community or donating some of your things to people. Also, this might be a time where you are achieving certain goals when it comes to work and routines and things of that nature. Maybe even your health. You might be achieving like a certain health goal at this time. Venus is the ruler of Taurus and Libra. So that's your first and your sixth house. So it could also be just kind of, gaining or reconnecting on a spiritual level, with employees, or, maybe you're going to get a new employee, or you're tapping into a new way of doing your work schedule or your daily habits and routines and things of that nature, and just achieving your goals in that way. All right. So Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. First and foremost, we have Mercury stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn in your 8th house. So this has a lot to do with other people's finances and joint resources and things like your partner's money. Has a lot to do with debt and karma and assets and government money, also secrets. So during the retrograde phase, it could have been like secrets coming out, or you started uncovering things about government assistance and money and whatnot. And now that is moving forward, you probably have been like in review of these things, maybe reviewing your debt, reviewing your financial situation. And now you can move forward with whatever ideas you have been coming up with or that you're trying to set in place, right? And how you make money or how you can tap into your resources. Mercury is your chart ruler. And so it rules your first and your 4th house, which is Gemini and Virgo. And so with it being your chart ruler, it has a lot to do with the resources that you bring into the home. And this is something that affects you directly, or something that you can initiate because it is your chart ruler. It's your 1st house of your initiatives. So it has a lot to do with your sense of security in your partnership or in your partner's finances, or even in the money that you get from like work, or maybe you are rebranding or rethinking about how you can save money to buy a home or get a home loan. And so you may have been waiting on information regarding that, and that could be coming in during this time. All right. So then we have that new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your 9th house. So setting new intentions about your path, your life path, your goals, and the things that you're trying to do, but also about travel and higher education. So you might be stepping into a role of being a teacher, being a mentor, developing courses, or you might find yourself enrolling into a new course in order to, increase your revenue, increase your worth, right? In the work that you're doing. So the moon is the ruler of your 2nd house. So it also could be that you're going to be launching, or you're setting intentions towards launching a new mentorship program, or, teaching in some way. And this could be bringing in money. The sun is the ruler of your 3rd house. So it could be small business. It could be education. It could be, online courses, right? Because that 3rd house energy. So these are things that you should be setting intentions surrounding, whether it's travel or education or otherwise. Okay. So Uranus is moving forward, is stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus in your 12th house. So you have had a lot of revelations happening on a subconscious level about self-sabotaging behaviors. You have become awakened to so much regarding who it is that you are, your spirituality, other people, maybe even you are your own worst, hidden enemy, self-sabotaging behaviors in other people as well. Uranus is the ruler of your 9th house. So it rules your path and higher education and your beliefs. And so you just have been going through this awakening. It could be a spiritual awakening surrounding your beliefs. And so now that inner energy is going to be expressed externally moving forward. Okay. So then Venus is moving into Pisces in your 10th house. So you might be receiving a raise. You might be receiving money and finances due to the work that you're doing. You might be starting a new job, or you might be in a new position and it increases your income at this time. Venus is the ruler of your 12th house and your 5th house. And so it could be something coming undone, or it could be that you are receiving money from a creative project that you're launching, that you're putting out there. That could be something that happens. Now, this is going to be, from January 26th until February 20th. So you have a little bit of time for that. But definitely some kind of money that's going to be making, or feeling more valuable because or having a sense of value due to the work that you're putting out, your creative projects, or getting some type of recognition because of something creative that you're expressing or launching at this time. All right. So also moving forward, let's see, we have Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mercury is stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn in your 7th house. So Cancer, this has a lot to do with other people, right? So you've been reviewing your relationships and commitments to other people, and it also could be contracts and legal situations. So with Mercury being retrograde, you've been reviewing and revamping and revising the way you've been communicating or not communicating, setting energetic boundaries or just overall boundaries with other people. Mercury is the ruler of your 12th house. So it could be spiritual. It could be kind of dissolving certain things or letting certain boundaries down, like, letting your walls kind of dissolve to where you're not as guarded. So that way you can connect with other people. Okay. It's the ruler of your 3rd house. So it could have a lot to do with communication as well. It's Mercury. So it rules, Gemini and Virgo, that's your 12th and 3rd houses. So, also a lot of that, being critical of other people and recognizing that criticism is coming from your internal dialogue as well. That could be something that you recognize during this retrograde phase. All right. So then we have a new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your 8th house. So setting intentions about making more money, intimate relationships, right? Also, debt and getting your finances in order, achieving that as a goal. The moon is the ruler of your 1st and your 2nd house. So the moon is your chart ruler, and anything that happens to the moon happens to you. So this is also you implementing something, setting a new intention about how you're going to pursue or initiate these things, right? Whether it's intimate connections, money, debts and karma and secrets and things of that nature. Also maybe psychology kind of vibes where you are reevaluating how you think and the psychology surrounding, certain aspects of your relationships with other people. Okay. So then we have Uranus stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus. This is in your 11th house. So this is about you being awakened to, your friendships and the people you connect with and how you achieve your goals and things of that nature. And so kind of having that internal awakening and that understanding come to fruition or come to the forefront for you. Also, there might be some unexpected changes that happen when it comes to your friendships as well as it moves forward. You may have been in a space of wanting to connect and figuring out how to make new friends. And now you have like these new quirky kind of weird friends. And so you wanting to connect more and doing so, you'll be able to do so moving forward, but having the resources to do so. Also, this could be about you achieving your goals and being awakened to how you can achieve your goals. And it could be financial goals, or it could be goals to, connect intimately with other people, like having a relationship or joining your finances of some sort, with someone at this time. So Uranus is the ruler of your 8th house. So that could also be part of that energy where you're achieving financial goals and you are awakened to a new innovative way in doing so. All right. So then we have Venus moving into Pisces in your 9th house. So this might be a time of travel and education where you are feeling more connected and what it is that you're learning. This is where your focus is kind of shifting to also. You might have an opportunity to start planning for a trip or travel or higher education. You might be receiving money for school, or you might be receiving money because you are a mentor or you are a teacher of some sort. Venus rules your 11th and your 4th house. So it could be money coming into the home. It could be money coming in from school. It could be money that you are spending for travel or to achieve your goal, just kind of redeveloping your beliefs surrounding how you can achieve your goals as well. Okay. And so then for Leo, sun, moon, and rising, we have Mercury stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn. This is in your sixth house. So with it being in your sixth house, you've been really reevaluating like your work and your routines. You've been focusing really or refocusing on your daily habits, as well as like the actual work that you do in your employees. So you may have been going under like training or having to train an employee, but just kind of figuring out, your work goals. Also kind of reevaluating or revamping or redoing, revising your health, so to speak. So wanting to get back into certain health dynamics, or resting has been a thing for you also during this time. Mercury is retrograde in Capricorn, so boundaries surrounding that as well. And so now that it's moving forward, you're going to be able to implement these new boundaries in your work routines, and then having a sound structure of your daily habits and achieving your goals. And it could be financial goals, so it also could indicate that you're going to start new lines of work during this time and implementing that, because you've been working on things behind the scenes, creating new ideas on how you can move forward. All right, so then we have new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your seventh house, so setting new intentions about your relationships and your commitments with towards other people. So this might be a time where you are embarking on getting married during the next 6 months or so, or elevating a current relationship to a new level, a new height. The moon rules your 12th house, so it also is the ruler of your the sun rules your first house. So with the sun being your chart ruler and it being in connection with this moon, it has a lot to do with the dissolving of something, or an old way of being or initiating something is dissolving, so that way you can embark on this new path and connecting to other people. So this might be a time where you're setting intentions about your commitments, your relationships, maybe legal situations as well, and your intimate connections with other people. And then Uranus is stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus in your 10th house. And so while it has been retrograde, you've been finding this awakening in the work that you do and how you show up in your work and routines, and just kind of coming to terms and coming to an understanding and how you can do so in a different and innovative way. Uranus is the ruler of your 7th house, where the new moon just happened. So it's like setting things in motion in regards to new commitments when it comes to your work. And also maybe your social status might be unexpectedly changing, where you're like going on a whim. You and your partner might just get married unexpectedly, just kind of like eloping kind of thing. So that might be something that happens during this Uranus direct phase, from now until August of this year. All right. So then Venus is moving into your 8th house in Pisces. So definitely, your partner's finances could definitely be increasing at this time. Your money could be increasing due to your work, because Venus rules your 10th house. Or it could be increasing due to a small business, because it also rules your 3rd house. So that could be something, or you could be investing your money into like your vehicle, or you could be investing in stocks and things of that nature. But definitely like financial increase, or your social status could be changing because of relationship change, intimacy, things of that nature, right? Because 8th house is about merging of one another, merging with someone else, or just the merging of resources. So that could be that, as well, where you're completely merging with someone, unity. And then, you have a change in your social status, right? That 10th house influence. All right. So Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Mercury is stationing directing your 5th house in Capricorn. And so you've been reviewing a creative project. You've been, kind of setting boundaries when it comes to like, or structure more so than anything when it comes to like your children, or even setting boundaries with yourself, right? And how you are going about doing things for your career and how you are initiating things. Mercury rules your 10th house. It also rules your 1st house. So this has a lot to do with your social status, your public image. So you could be doing things publicly. You could be rebranding yourself, revising and revamping how you've been doing things, like a creative project or your career overall. Just showing up differently. Mercury is your chart ruler, so it does rule your 1st house also. So keeping that in mind, that you are now going to be able to move forward with those initiatives that you have been reviewing and kind of reassessing over this retrograde phase. And then we have a new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your 6th house. So setting new intentions about your health and your work, and employees that you want to work with. So you might be hiring new people, setting new intentions about the work that you do and achieving those work goals, those health goals, because the moon rules your 11th house of your goals and routines, your goals and your initiatives, and um, maybe even connecting with people. It means, networking and friendships. So that could be something, maybe you're working with friends during this time, and just kind of setting that as a new intention. The sun is the ruler of your 12th house. So it could be something that's happening on a spiritual level as well, and having to release self-sabotaging behaviors and things of that nature. And then we have Uranus stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus in your 9th house. So there might be an unexpected trip that comes up. There could be some awakening that has happened during the retrograde phase regarding your beliefs and spirituality, maybe even higher education. And so now that it's moving forward, you might have some unexpected things that kind of shift and happen regarding travel, education, mentorship, coaching, and things of that nature. Uranus is the ruler of your 6th house. So it could be some changes that are needing to be implemented in your daily routines regarding travel for work or travel for school. That might be something that's picking up also. And then Venus is entering into Pisces in your 7th house. So, your relationship could take on a new form. You could be creating a different bond with other people. Your commitments, you might be kind of getting some information about like a legal situation and about money. There could be some justice that's happening, right? Venus rules your 9th house and your 2nd house. So justice is happening in regards to a legal situation regarding money, and income that you make for yourself. Also, it could be that you are embarking on a new path regarding a relationship at this time, with Venus moving into Pisces in your 7th house, and it rules your 9th house. It also rules your 2nd house. So that could be something as well. All right. So Libra, sun, moon, and rising, we have Mercury stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn in your 4th house. So with Mercury moving direct in your 4th house, you have been revamping and revising your home, how you show up as a mother. If you're a mother, you've been kind of reconnecting and rethinking about things when it comes to influential women in your life. And maybe there was you're trying to kind of reassess your self-confidence, or even doing some self-care things you've been thinking about re-implementing or bringing back, or just doing, right? You could have been coming up with different ideas, and so now that Mercury's moving forward, you can implement these things in real time, make them tangible, setting boundaries when it comes to in your home and new structure and things of that nature. Mercury is also the ruler of your 9th house, so this has a lot to do with travel that could be coming to an end, or you are embarking on travel at this time, because Mercury also rules your 12th house as well as your 9th house. So it could be looking to move, like having a foreign permanent settlement where you're looking to move foreign to a foreign location, or you're looking to purchase a home, and you have been trying to create that plan for yourself. And that could be something that you're moving forward with, as Mercury is moving forward through Capricorn, and just developing that structure or that foundation for that. All right. So then we have a new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your 5th house on January 21st. And so with this being in your 5th house, this is you launching a new creative project, or there's a new beginning or a new cycle that's happening regarding your children. So setting new intentions regarding your children, your creative projects, maybe even your romantic life, because that's 5th house, or embarking on new ways of having fun and expressing your joy or your creative self-expression. And then this is something that is being shown publicly, right? Because the moon rules your 10th house, and that's your public image. It also could be your career, but the sun is here also. So that is the ruler of your 11th house. So it's about your goals, your gains, your material gains. So this could be a new journey of where you are receiving more income, or you're receiving, not income necessarily, but receiving a new path or a new journey regarding material gains and things that you acquire through work or through a creative project that you're launching at this time, maybe even through connection with other people that are in positions of power. Okay, so then we have Uranus stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus, and this is in your 8th house. Okay, so this happens on January 22nd. So Uranus has been retrograde in your 8th house, and it's been shaking up how you get your resources from other people. So it could be money that you get from your partner, or money that you have shared with someone else, or money that you get from your employer. or it could have even been, just kind of reevaluating, or you could have been going through this awakening of how you psychologically assess things or think about things, right? Because the eighth house is psyche. There could have been some things going on with secrets, and things like that coming out. And so just being awakened in different ways when it comes to on the psychological level, with things happening also with children, because Uranus rules your fifth house, or you're receiving like money from like a creative project that you launched, and it's just like this large sum of money and you just were not expecting it. That could be like the element of surprise that Uranus brings. It is in the sign of Taurus. Taurus rules money, so that could be something as well. And then Venus is moving into Pisces, and so this happens January 26th into your sixth house. So you could be receiving money for the work that you do. You could be putting in more effort into your daily habits, your routines, your schedule, maybe even your health as well. Venus rules your eighth house. So this has a lot to do with resources in your partner's money, and connecting with other people. Could be government money and things like that. Venus is also the ruler of your first house, so it's your chart ruler. So with it ruling your chart, is something that you are initiating. You're initiating the change in your routines and also within your work. And there could be some new, maybe you're starting new work, and this could be like you're getting more money now, and this is something that you initiated as well. All right. So for Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising, Mercury is stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn. And this happens January 18th in your third house. So you've been reviewing your immediate environment, your relationship with your siblings, maybe even your cousins. You've been really reviewing and revamping that, trying to kind of rebuild or set new boundaries, with these individuals. Also within your immediate environment, there could have been some things also that you're under review regarding your vehicle, or you've been rebranding a small business and how you can get resources, and your resources could have been coming through your friends, because Mercury rules your eighth house as well as your 11th house. So eighth house is resources, 11th house is friends and your goals and networking, things of that nature. All right. So now that you've reviewed all that, you can now like kind of start setting those ideas into motion, that Mercury is starting to move forward. And then we have a new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your fourth house. So setting new intentions about your home and family, whether it's, remodeling your home, buying a new home, moving to a new location. This also has a lot to do with setting, new traditions in your home, and doing things from a new innovative space, with that home energy. And then, Aquarius is being there also. The moon is the ruler of your ninth house. So it could have a lot to do with traveling. It could have a lot to do with, education wise. So setting new intentions about, education and your beliefs about your home, or setting on a new path or a new journey with an influential woman in your life. That could also be part of this, and changing your social status. So you might be looking at, over the next 6 months, to like propose or get engaged, or that might be something that happens for you also, with the sun being here and it rules your 10th house. Okay, so then we have Uranus stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus, and this happens January 22nd in your seventh house. So you've been having some, awakening and liberating things happening on an internal level about your relationship with other people, particularly influential women in your life. There might be some unexpected changes that happen or that come down the pipeline regarding your finances in your home, and maybe like what you call it, a legal situation, right? Because seventh house rules legal situations and documents and things of that nature. But also your commitments could be changing, and like unexpected changes in your commitments or unexpected changes within your home, that could have, some effect of that nature as well. All right, so then Venus is entering into Pisces, and this happens January 26th in your fifth house. So really working on refining your craft, your creative projects, and investing in your children, healing that dynamic, healing, whether it's financial investments in children, that could be something, but also just dissolving, something could be dissolving as well, especially when Venus make that conjunction to Pisces, to Neptune and Pisces, during this transit. And then Venus is also the ruler of your seventh house, and it's the ruler of your 12th house. So this could be something coming undone regarding an old commitment to your children. There could be a change that's happening, but also just kind of like investing in creativity and in creative projects, and investing in like having more fun and more joy and committing to that as well. All right. So Moving on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mercury is stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn in your second house. So Mercury has been retrograde in your second house. So you've been reviewing your finances and your relationships and the things that you value and things that bring you pleasure as well. So now you have set solid boundaries and understanding in what it is that you desire and how you can make income for yourself. You're going to be setting these things in motion. And Mercury is the ruler of your 7th house and your 10th house, Gemini and Virgo. So commitments to work. You might be receiving a raise at this time, or you might be getting married at this time, right? So your social status could be changing and shifting also. And then we have that new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your 3rd house. And so this is the time to set new intentions about your vehicle. You might be looking to get a new car or to sell your car or invest in a new vehicle, or even maybe planning to join with or merge your finances with your partner because the moon rules your 8th house. Setting new intentions about that, about embarking on a new path, maybe starting a new small business to make, bring in more resources as well. This could be something that you could look into. And then we have Uranus stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus in your 6th house. So it's been awakening you to like your health situation, and there could have been some changes that you need to make regarding your daily routines and maybe even with work. And so now that awakening has happened and that change is happening, you can set certain things into motion. There might be some unexpected changes that happen regarding your work in a small business, or you might be receiving some news about the work that you do or where you currently work, or some changes that happen with an employee as well. All right. So then we have Venus entering into Pisces in your 4th house. And so investing in your home, you could be remodeling or getting new furniture, through the work that you do, right, from your job. And this could be a goal that you have because Venus rules your 6th house and your 11th house, which is work and routines, also your health, as well as your 11th house, which is about your friendships and your goals and networking and whatnot. So there could be some things or some focus that's added to like traditions in the home, or an influential woman, that's in your life as well. And it could be someone in a position of authority that's helping you, setting you in a space to achieve a goal. Could be a work goal, and helping you build more confidence as well, right? Because that 4th house is also about your sense of security. So helping you make more money, so that way you have more security in your home as well. All right. So then we have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mercury is stationing direct in your sign. So it's in your 1st house on January 18th. So it's been retrograde. So you may have been reviewing certain things and certain ways that you've been showing up, how you communicate, certain things regarding your beliefs as well, and just expressing that. Mercury is the ruler of your 6th house, also the ruler of your 9th house. So it could have had a lot to do with not only your beliefs, but maybe travel that you were reviewing and you couldn't kind of like do it, but now you're able to kind of set that in motion. It could be traveling for work, could be something as well with Mercury ruling your 6th house, or even, getting information about your health. Maybe it could be mental health, right? Because of that 9th house, or your spiritual health, or it could have been something that you have been reviewing. Excuse me. So also with it being in the 6th house, it could have been that you've been reviewing your daily habits and your routines regarding your schooling, your higher education. And now you're able to implement the new schedule that you need to kind of embark on. And then we have the new moon at 1 degree Aquarius, and this is in your 2nd house. So this is setting new intentions regarding the money and the income that you make for yourself. The moon is the ruler of your 7th house. The sun is the ruler of your 8th house. And with both of them being here together, it has a lot to do with your commitments to make money for yourself. So setting new intentions regarding like how you make money for yourself. Also maybe your partner's money. There could be something that's going on like with a legal situation where you're having to merge. You also could be getting married, and that could be something as well, to where your finances and things are shifting regarding that also. Okay, so then we have Uranus stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus in your 5th house. So just kind of had an awakening. You've been getting insights and information and downloads about a creative project, or how to express yourself, or, tapping into your joy and your sense of fun and adventure. Also, could be some things going on unexpectedly regarding like a romantic situation as well. And with Uranus ruling your 2nd house, it could be you receiving money for like a creative project that you are launching, or investing in your children, or there could be changes with the money that you get for your children. That could be happening as well over this time. And then Venus is entering into Pisces. And so this happens January 26th into your third house. And so information coming in about money, about, maybe you developing a small business or having to invest money into your vehicle or into your immediate environment. There also could be some things going on with your siblings as well, or your cousins, and you just kind of connecting with them and having more fun. Maybe, doing, like a quick trip, or like a road trip to go visit someone, a sibling or something of that nature. Venus is the ruler of your fifth house. It also is the ruler of your 10th house. So this could be that you're launching a small business that is more creative, and it kind of shifts and changes your public image and your career path also. All right, so for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Mercury is stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn, January 18th, in your 12th house. So with Mercury moving direct, you've been reviewing and revising your self-sabotaging behaviors, your spiritual journey, your spiritual hygiene, so to speak, and maybe even creative projects, right? So Mercury rules your 5th and your 8th house. So you could have been reviewing things on a creative way to make more money, to bring in income. Also, tapping into your resources. And maybe there has been like a dissolving of resources that has happened. Maybe you had money that you were getting from someone else, or you were merging money or finances, or maybe even government money, and that money is dissolving at this time. That is a high possibility. Also, money that you get for your children could be dissolving also. And with that, it could be like a change that's happened, or a sudden reversal that's happening with that. And then the new moon is happening at 1 degrees Aquarius in your first house. So this is showing up, definitely affecting you, because it's a new moon in your sign. So how you show up, how you are seeing your self-image, all of those things are changing. The moon rules your 6th house, so it could have a lot to do with your health or your daily habits. You're initiating a new routine, a new work, new commitments, because the sun rules your 7th house of commitments. Or you might find yourself into like a new partnership. Could be business, because of that moon ruling the 6 houses of, of work. And so you're having to shift your routines as well. And then Uranus is stationing to move direct at 14 degrees. And this is in the sign of Taurus. And so it's in your 4th house. So you've awakened to, the way that you mother, or influential women in your life, or certain dynamics of your home. And so there might be some changes that, need to be made, or that you are implementing, because Uranus is your chart ruler, as well as Saturn, of course. But you are needing to make these changes in regards to your home and family life. And so there might be some unexpected changes that you're making, or some things that happen to you in the home. And you're embarking on like this new awakening. Also maybe making changes in certain traditions and how you mother, or within your own home. Okay. And then Venus is entering into Pisces on January 26th in your 2nd house. So money, relationships, partnerships, income, money that you make for yourself. Venus rules your 4th house and your 9th house. So money could be coming into you regarding like travel, or you could be spending money to travel, or receiving money for, like a legal situation or something along those lines. Also, this could indicate money for higher education, you having to pay money for schooling, or for a travel trip, or something along those lines as well. All right. So last but not least, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mercury is stationing direct at 8 degrees Capricorn on January 18th in your 11th house. So you've been reviewing how you can obtain your goals. You've been reconnecting with friends. You've been embarking on, connections with other people, large organizations and groups. And so now you can set these things into motion. Mercury rules your 4th house and your 7th house, which is Gemini and Virgo. So 4th house is home and family, influential women, and just achieving, or trying to achieve goals and partnerships and connections and things of that nature. And so you're able to set things in motion. And then we have that new moon at 1 degree Aquarius in your 12th house. So setting new intentions about your spiritual journey, about creative projects, and about, love and unconditional, from an unconditional space. And in allowing certain things to dissolve. So this might be a new cycle that is happening regarding your children, and your daily habits and routines could be changing. So the moon ruling your fifth house, that could be, changes that are being implemented, or a new journey, or a new cycle of things that are happening with your children. The sun is the ruler of your sixth house. So your daily routines could be changing as well. Something could be coming undone, or being reversed or dissolved at this time with this new moon, but also it's like a new path, something new actually happening. And then Uranus is stationing direct at 14 degrees Taurus. And so with Uranus moving forward in your third house, you've been kind of reviewing on an internal level, like you've come to this awakening and to this realization of your small business, of your immediate environment, maybe even your siblings or your cousins or something along those lines. And now that it's moving forward, it's like you have this understanding, you can move forward with making changes, because that's what Uranus is there for. It's about making changes, being innovative, and how you provide stability for yourself regarding these areas, right? So it could be your small business, could be your vehicle, there could be some changes with your car coming up. Also, Uranus rules your 12th house. So it could be that you are making changes on a subconscious level, or spiritually making changes in how you go about doing things on a day-to-day kind of basis as well. And also within your small business, or maybe even education also. All right. So last but not least, we have Venus entering into Pisces. So it's moving into your sign. It's exalted in your sign. It's moving into your first house on January 26th. And so Venus rules Taurus and Libra, which is your third and eighth house. So this could indicate that you're getting information about money coming into you, or you having to join finances, or your partner's money could be increasing, and your partner's money could be coming to you or coming into the home, or you are investing into stocks or into your small business because it rules your third house, or you're investing into your partner as well, or your partner could be investing into you. That's a high possibility as well, and it could be financially or otherwise. Resources are resources. So that is that. All right. So that is all that I have for the rest of January. So I look forward to connecting with you all very soon. And in February, I hope the rest of the month treats you well. I hope you have a wonderful month ahead. Make sure that you hit the description box to get your 10% off your Reiki session, get those $10 readings for all of your signs, your sun, moon, and rising, and so on and so forth. Also, the Celestial City is open, so go ahead and look at that. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Have a wonderful month ahead.